anymore, but still definitely high tier. Loses 4. I see. Okay. Ah, and they're starting. Already a super tiny slight lead with Monado there. I imagine he must have gotten the candles just frames faster, but you know, can't really expect too much at this stage. It's Luigi's Mansion. Anything can happen. You know that. Monado doing the spins there before he activates the scare skip. He's showing off, guys. Yeah, that's the thing with the scare skip, right? Is you don't have to keep it active the entire time as long as you just get the scare skip the moment that the ghost spawn happens. Neither of them forgot to do the map glitch. That's good. It would have been very unfortunate had one of them done so. So far, no real major errors on either of them. Never mind. Monado missed a ghost. Okay. And it begins. You can't commentate a race without making somebody mess up every time you say anything. That puts Skozzy in the lead briefly there. Isn't that interesting? It's Luigi's Mansion. Anything. How many times am I gonna say that this run? Let's start counting. Okay, let's see how good their key grabs are. Skozzy doing his perfectly. Monado doing his almost perfectly, but still fair, very fairly, a very fair key grab is what I was trying to say. Both doing some nice straight line walking. Good, good. I suppose I can put the audio over on Skozzy's end. There we go, Skozzy doing the key grab just fine. The Neville suckups were fine as well. So far you can clearly tell that their skills are good because they're doing everything pretty much exactly how you'd want to be doing them. But each room has a 10 mode, which is why you want to keep the flashlight off for it. Skozzy on his way to Chauncey now. His time is pretty decent here. They both have pearls, unfortunately, so we aren't going to be getting a super brief end game counting, but nonetheless. They both look like they're in the same spot for the ball here. Skozzy gets his fine. Almost called him Chauncey. Monado doing his slightly differently. The official Chauncey. Let's hope these two runners do perfect Chauncey ball catches here. They're still difficult to do. I know they've been optimized a lot over the years, but they're still relatively difficult to do. Skozzy pretty far to the left there, but he catches it fine. Skozzy seems to have done the bonk strat there, which is interesting. That's like, gets an extra hit so you can lose even more coins. And Skozzy gets this perfect Chauncey second ball catch there. Monado getting an almost perfect one. They're still pretty close. Skozzy with an exactly 559 key, which is really nice. Monado with a 604. Still pretty good. I would say that's actually quite good. But a 559 is really good. Yeah, you know what, I should have commentated that Chauncey fight like some sort of MMA announcer fighter, dude. Although, you can tell by the way that I described them as MMA announcer fighter dudes that I probably wouldn't be the best to do so. Yes, I should point out that they are taking damage on purpose. Obviously, it allows them to remain invincible so that they can catch Chauncey's ball and launch it back at him immediately. Otherwise, if the ball were to hit them, then they would just take damage and would, you know, lose time. I'm sure you've heard it a million times. But if not, there's the explanation. They're going to be going into the bathroom now, where they will have a double to do, but it's a very easy double. I would be surprised if either of these runners missed it. I would argue it's probably the easiest double in the game. And there we go, they both got it just fine. I didn't mess anybody up with my commentary there. Skozzy got a 755 key grab, Monado with an 801. And now they're going to be doing the Shy Guy doubles, which are significantly more difficult to do than the doubles that you had just seen. Very brief scare skip there, which saves some time walking up to the Shy Guys. Little optimizations like that are what make this a speed game. Now we're going to be seeing RNG here, obviously, with early release. Nothing you can do but hope that they show their hearts earlier than, you know, than they could otherwise do. Skozzy being very fortunate in getting early release. He is on fantastic pace right now. Monado, on the other hand, missing early release, and you can clearly see the difference in time here. It is a full 10 seconds before he'll show his heart, so he just has to wait. There we go. Unfortunate for Monado there. He's going to require a lot more to get his time back. They'll be doing their poster skip here. Very quick strat. Saves some time because you can get the poster before you push the ball back. Skozzy opting for the wait until they get closer together double as opposed to the have one of them punch into the other double. I'm not sure which one's objectively faster, but they both work fine. Monado seems to be yeah, going for a bit of an impromptu scare skip strat there. That was a 947 blue release on Skozzy there. That is an incredibly good blue release, I would say. and Monado getting a much more common 10.06 Boo release. Still very good, but you know, with early release, if he had gotten it, it would have been a 956, which would have been really good as well. As you can see, it's really just a accumulation of small movement optimizations that are constantly pushing Skozzy further and further ahead. Not really too many big strat differences or mistakes or anything. There were a few, but ultimately it's small optimizations. They're now going to be doing boo catching, which I would argue is where most of the skill in this game shows its truest difficulty. Skozzy going for reverse tech skip here, which is what it's called when you get the cloth in that specific way. Ultimately, it just, you know, it's a really fast way to skip the text on the first boo, which is vitally important, obviously, because has anyone PB'd in this tournament? That's a good question. I don't think anyone has, actually. I know a lot of runners have come very close to their PBs, but I don't think anyone has. Monado, unfortunately, is not getting the first boo text skip, which means that he will have to sit through this amount of text that Skozzy got to skip as well. An 1135 mirror warp for Skozzy there. That is really, really good. I would say Skozzy is playing at a level that is very high compared to how most runners would do in a race, so really good job so far on his part. Monado doing okay, keeping up. Really good RNG there for Skozzy. That room can be very difficult if the boo isn't there. Monado appeared to be going for boo double, out of desperation presumably, but unfortunately he didn't get the boo in that spot, so he couldn't do it. And now Skozzy's on his way to the bathroom, whereas Monado still hasn't gotten to the ballroom boo yet. This is really unfortunate for him, but it just goes to show what the difference in both optimization and RNG can do for you. I mean, that alone, Monado spent like 5 extra seconds in this room just getting that boo because it was on the other side of the room, you know? Skozzy playing with his flashlight unnecessarily. Most important strat so far. Skozzy appeared to be doing the spinning around strats for these doubles here, which I believe can be the same time, like it can be equal in rate to the scare skip strat, but only if executed perfectly, which it didn't appear Skozzy had done. However, the loss of time is frames at most, so don't worry about it too much. He's going to be going for his medallion here to get the first save work, and he'll probably try to... no, he won't. I was going to say he'll probably try to walk into the medallion to save a few frames, but he opted to do it the sensible way and not do that. Now he'll be lighting the candles. I don't know if he missed one. No, he didn't. I wasn't sure. Monado getting the medallion, no problem as well. He looked like he was having a bit of issue at the beginning, but he managed. Now Skozzy is gonna go lighting the butler's candles. He'll probably also manipulate the rooms to give himself some extra walking distance, like that. I believe the way that happens is the butler text is timed a few seconds after you hit him with the fire, And because there's a room transition there, it allows you to utilize that loading to walk a few extra steps before the text appears. Skozzy's setting up for the best skip in the game, hat skip. It is a skip where you use the hat to skip a cutscene that opens a chest, or at least a cutscene to show the chest appearing. And because you use the hat, the official name is Hat Skip, and nobody can convince me otherwise. Preparing the mouse hole so we can get the Boo text skip in this room. Obviously, on the Japanese version, you can use those mouse holes to skip Boo text, which is patched in all other versions of the game. Oh. Skozzy appeared to struggle a little bit with that Boo, but he managed fine. You can actually soft lock there, but that requires you to basically enter the chest, the mouse hole on the same frame that you start sucking the Boo, so it's a bit difficult to do. This is an interesting quad, but Skaz looks like he's doing okay. Yeah. And hopefully his RNG gives him some luck here as well. It does not, but he managed okay. Still far faster than a lot of people would do. Monado, on the other hand, is about to enter the mouse hole, and he seems to be catching up a little bit. Will Skozzy go for everyone's favorite laundry brew text skip? He will try, but unfortunately will not succeed. Monado go. And unfortunately, Monado's RNG isn't quite commentator because let the Boo switch into it. I should talk badly about their RNG so that they start acting a bit nicer. So here we have Monado playing terribly, doing nothing correct. No Boo in there. See, look, commentator, I got the Boo for him. He will not be getting this text skip either. I mean, he will be getting it. There we go. See, commentator. Skozzy talking to Melody. Let's see what song she gives him. Oof. The athletic theme that requires a button input, which reduces, or I guess increases the time you have to spend by a few frames. Skozzy pulled that off fine. Not too much stress with her musical shields. Will Skozzy's RNG hold up in this room? Let's see. It will not. But you know what? He still does okay. That is okay RNG. Not the best, but it is okay. And as he's leaving this room at 18:30, I think we can collectively agree his time right now is okay. I'm just kidding, it's actually really impressive. Not to diminish his skill, but to the average LM runner, his time is really good. Monado getting much better RNG there, it was in the exact spot he wants it. Let's hope this brew gives him some, some support. Let's see how well Skozzy's RNG is in this room as well, because this room can also mess you up quite a bit. They appear to both be over here though, which means he can open both of these objects and guarantee he gets it. It's not ideal, but it's better than walking back and forth a bunch. I would argue that Monado is probably about 40 to 45 seconds behind Skozzy right now. Skozzy being very important and making sure to water the plants. You gotta make sure that you keep yourself eco-sensible here in this speedrun. It serves no purpose, but you can always be a little bit more eco-friendly in this day and age. Spooky the dog giving Skazzy a little bit of weirdness at the end there, but it's not too bad. Let's hope these guys are okay. Yeah, Skazzy risking it there with the distance, but with these skeletons you can pretty much get them from across the room. They're really forgiving, to be honest. The official name of the skeleton ghost is Skeleton Ghost, except for the one that Monado's sucking up, whose official name is Mr. Bones. And now we're about to face off with Bogmire, everyone's favorite. Let's see some Thef 1 champs in chat. Wink wink. Oof, Bogmire giving Skazzy some trouble there. That's really unfortunate. He shouldn't really struggle too much making that up, but, you know, not less unfortunate on his part. Let's see if Monado manages to seize this opportunity. For those who aren't aware, Bogmire can be one-cycled, but because it was dragging Skazzy into the middle of the room, he didn't really have much of an opportunity to keep control. Monado has a bit of an easier time here because he's bumping into the wall a bit more, and that's more or less where the difference was. They're both still on very good pace though. I would argue they're both probably on 57 pace if they execute well. But we'll see what happens. After all, it's Luigi's mansion. Who knows what could happen? Skazzy had like a little spot there where nothing was happening. Oof. As we head to Area 3, this is sort of where the run begins to really kick off. Lots of interesting things happening in this area. I'm kind of interested to see how the tea room goes, because Skazzy manages to manipulate the boot tech skip in the tea room pretty well, given a bunch of different circumstances. Now we're about to finish the game because we're about to find Mario, which is of course the main objective. Close your eyes, guys, this might be spoilers, but Mario is about to reveal himself. I warned you. No turning back now, guys, you've seen that which cannot be unseen. You'll have to live with that forever. Skazzy with like 2 or 3 extra frames, but you know, it happens. He walked into the key though, that made those frames up. Skazzy's currently winning by about, I want to say 30 seconds. Monado getting some weirdness on that ceiling surprise. Now we're about to do some exercise. We kept ourselves eco-conscious, and now we're looking after our cardio. This game really does teach good morals. Now we're about to break some physics here. So guys, having to go back and break physics a second time because it didn't work, but it's all good. Will he manipulate this sheet? No, he is opting to not manipulate the sheet. but like I said, I've seen him do some weird manipulation with these sheets before, so who knows what he'll do. Yeah, he appears to be doing it there. Although it would appear he gave up on that notion. Or not? No, it wasn't quite that he gave up on it, it was that he was a bit early there. I would agree with Blue Hits, who just said that he goes for it without a setup sometimes because that appeared to not be a setup at all. That appeared to be, let's hope for the best, and I've seen him pull it off quite a few times in some very interesting ways. Unfortunately, that one was, he let go a bit too early, and it happens. It's a silly tech skip, you shouldn't even worry too much about it, honestly. It looks like Monado goes for Nana before he goes for Petunia. There isn't really much of a difference there. The time is more or less the same. I think it might be mildly faster to go for Petunia first, just based on the way you walk out of the room, but I could be incorrect on that, they might be equal. Most people generally go for Petunia first, though. And now Skaz is going to perform a occultist ritual to summon some spirits. Don't try this at home. If you are a religious person, I might suggest you close your eyes, because you're about to see some dark, unholy things happening right now. I warned you. He just performed one of the most forbidden rituals. Skosky has a tendency to set these ghosts on fire and go for a double instead of doing the triple. I mean, it's more or less the exact same speed as doing the triple. I do believe the triple might be mildly, like, very minuscule, faster than doing the way Skosky did it, but it's so insignificant, honestly. Like, those sorts of things I'm only bringing up because they're interesting, not because there's something that newer runners should, like, take note of. Now it's time for Moonshot, everyone's favorite. You thought the occultist rituals was scary. This is, like, monumentally scarier. Skoszy's music got a no problem. It's always a bit risky to get the moon on the right side because the hitbox sort of goes inside the moon a bit, so you kind of want to aim towards the left a little bit. It's, it's a minor thing, but the hitbox extends outside the left a little bit and inside the right a little bit. I'm not getting it directly in the middle though because, he's a crack shot. I do want to say both of these runners are very, very good with their time right now. Like, I'm quite impressed. Mario! Mario! Now Skoszy is on his way to the projector room, which is more or less the same as the mirror room, but with different aesthetic and some extra ghosts. Will he get the triple? Or will he spend too much time playing with the hearts? He almost did, but stopped himself. Got the triple, no problem. Is this a boo? Yes, it is. Good RNG. Good execution there. Monado also getting the triple. Good, good. It'd be disappointing if either of them missed it, because their triple is, you know, not difficult, it's just, it requires a little bit of experience to get consistently. And this is a very divisive boo right here, guys. Desk or bottle? Place your bets. Bottle. Not sure why he opted for the charge there. Perhaps he just didn't feel like walking towards the boo. He was punished with Vanguard's X though, and that's what happens after you have 15 boos. They start randomizing the text that pops up when you get them, and some of them, like that Vanguard text, are quite long. Unfortunately, Monado seems to have gotten the boo in the lampshade, which is not an ideal place to get it. Skozzy getting some interesting placement there. I don't want to say it's good placement, but at least they were next to each other. He does not seem to be going for doubles here, unfortunately. You always gotta show off a bit, you know, go for doubles, but I think Skozzy is playing to PB. I don't think he's playing to impress. I would check in the dartboard if I was him. Oh no, it was actually in both. I didn't even see that. Weird. Yeah, that boo has a tendency to mess up. What I was trying to say was that boo has a tendency to act a bit sporadically. Doesn't really doesn't stay in one place as much as you would expect. I've seen a lot of people mess up that boo for various reasons, whether it's for auto-locking on pearls or if it's just because it's acting a bit weird. Monado seems to have a hold on it though. I am impressed with Monado though, he's definitely catching up, and that says a lot. A lot of people have some difficulty with the text skips on these sheets, but a good way to get it consistently is to press yourself as close to the bed as possible as the boo enters your vacuum, so that the knockback from it entering makes you walk into where the sheet needs to be to go into your vacuum, so you don't have to even bother doing any sort of timing for it. Obviously, if Monado's RNG was a little bit nicer, he probably would have definitely been on equal playing field here, but he's doing a really good job of catching up, and that's saying a lot, I think. Did Skozzy get the audio glitch, guys? Are we going to have an intimate time here where we talk with no music in the background? So they're going to be doing some button mashing. Oh, never mind, the audio's back. Okay, as I was saying, they're going to be doing some button mashing for a while, but they're both doing it, so for this time, let's just sit back and think about all the interesting things that have happened this run so far. We've experienced both an ER and a non-ER. We've experienced first boot skip and non-first boot skip. What else have we experienced so far? A 1-cycle and a 2-cycle Bogmire. I have to say, we're really seeing it all today on Luigi's Mansion. But like I said, it's Luigi's Mansion. Who knows what could happen? Skozzy having no problem at all with Clairvoya there. It looked like he was trying to knock on the chair, but Luigi wasn't having any of it. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Getting some unfortunate text as well. Oh well. Monado definitely still has a chance to catch up because they're about to go towards Brulasses. And Skozzy is pretty good at managing Brulasses. I've seen him do some incredible comebacks from seemingly no 1-cycles. I've seen him do some interesting 1-cycles to say the least, but Monado might surprise us with like an insta Brulasses. The fact that Monado was managing to get what was originally 40 seconds of difference down to 18, it's really cool. And one could also argue that those 18 seconds are entirely missing the text skip on the first brew and missing early release, because that would accumulate to about 18 seconds. The losses and Gimli are key factors, but this is Luigi's Mansion. Who knows what can happen? You know, Armory can play a role. Weston can have an impact. You know, you never know with these things. Consistency is hard to get in this game. And unfortunately, with the amount of time Skozzy's getting Van Gortsex too, that's definitely helping Monado out bit by bit. Yeah, who needs ice anyway? Not Skozzy. We got the music during this cutscene though, that's an omen. Whether that's a good omen or a bad omen, I'll leave that up to you. That's an interesting ice placement there. Wasn't a bad one at all, but it was interesting. A bit of a weird angle, but I think, yeah, I think he can pull it off. Perhaps. I wasn't the only one who saw that, right? Like, that was a weird angle. It was kinda high. But then again, so is Monado's. Although Monado got a few more ghosts out of it. In fact, Monado got himself a 1-cycle, so now, would you look at that? They are but frames apart, guys. What did I tell you? Luigi's Mansion. Who knows what— okay, I'll stop. Also, yeah, I should clarify the word omen always implies negatively, but there isn't really a word for positive ones. And now as we enter Area 4, this run's becoming significantly more interesting. I have to say, it's really following a story arc, right? It's getting progressively more and more intense, had some comic relief, had some exposition, had a few dips here and there, but it's climaxing soon. And I think we can all agree that Luigi's Mansion is a very climactic game. Szkozzy is an artist, that's why he keeps getting Van Gore-texted, because they're just talking about each other. You know, the artists. I just want to point out that you can talk about a climactic race and achieving said climax without making it sound erotic. Some of you are just a bit dirty. I don't anticipate Szkozzy doing Breaker just considering how close they are to each other's pace. I think it's more likely for Szkozzy to hope that he is just generally better at execution and that keeps him in the lead a little bit. Although he could risk it, but I think he knows that if he misses, which he's likely to do, he basically forfeits the race. Here we are at the blackout, although on Szkozzy's screen it's a bit more of a whitewashed grey out. A bit more of a blackout for Monado though. Honestly, it all just comes down to their Grimleys. Whoever gets a better Grimley is going to probably be in the lead here. They both got the same Grimleys. I actually think Monado might have gotten a slightly earlier one, but I would just like to point out that Monado is now frames ahead of Szkozzy, so... Then again, they both appear to have done that warp at the exact same time, so I think they're actually on exactly the same pace now. This is scary. They're literally in perfect sync. Okay, Szkozzy's got a few frames ahead now. This is weird, it's like watching two of the same run. Szkozzy's going for Breakaboo, is he insane? Look at those 6 seconds he saved but now lost. Am I right? That's a shame. I mean, it's a race, right? So being flashy is the most important thing, but holy dude, like, not when your race is this close. He must have a lot of confidence in his Area 4. Hmm. It appears he lost that boo as well, so let's hope he has a lot of confidence in his area 4. Or maybe I could say some really good things about Monado's run. Hype him up a little bit, you know, to even the playing field. I suppose, if Breaker Brew manages to go back into Breaker, though he probably won't, Skazzy will probably be able to get that one, and then get that Cellar Boo, and perhaps he'll be okay, but it's Luigi's mansion. Who knows what can happen. Skazzy could clear the pipe room and hope that he gets Breaker. That would be faster than going for Vanguard, but I don't know. We're all sitting here all sad, all like, oh, we just watched a run literally die in front of us. Monado's very good at the toy soldier, and I'm impressed with that, I have to say. Skazzy getting a double as well, but an interesting sorta almost double, but kinda like just barely classifies as a double-double. Well, you will only need to mirror warp from the armory if you didn't miss the Cellar Boo. But Skazzy missed the Cellar Boo at very, very low HP, so Skazzy's going to be warping without saving, so... I might have misinterpreted your question, but you check the Breaker Boo in the break room before you go upstairs because, you know, he could be there, so you may as well check, and if you're lucky, perhaps he won't have hidden an object yet, basically is the idea. And that will also then allow you to save warp as well. And if you don't do it, then you can't save warp unless you opt to ignore that boo entirely. Well, they're having a little bit of difficulty finding the boo, but it's okay. His execution was decent here. Skazzy's catching up, though. The run is not guaranteed to either person just yet. There's still a little bit of difficulty coming up in Weston. Obviously, this boo can cause some trouble as well. Though Monado gets it fine. Skazzy seems to be having a little bit of difficulty with the timing, but I think he was able to manipulate it okay. And he remembered not to use the save warp. I think Monado did save warp. I didn't look when he was doing it, but if he did save warp, then, and based on this radar, I think he did, Skazzy might be able to get some time here, because Monado will have to catch this boo from the beginning again. Skozzy could probably, if Skozzy clears this room, which he seems to be doing, and gets Breaker out of this room, then I think Skozzy might be able to attain the lead. Because, Cellar Boo is gonna be in Weston, if I'm right. So that would have been Breaker Boo. And based on the HP, I already know that that's true. So technically that means Skozzy has a little bit less hassle with getting boos because Monado's going to have to get Van Gore. And that's gonna take a lot longer than Skozzy having to get the 3 HP or whatever Cellar Boo still has to do. I'm sorry, my commentary turned into speculating who's going to be at what part of the race at what time, but for all you who are not sure what's happening, they're sucking up Weston. He likes the cold. And Skozzy getting Weston one cycle means that I would say Skozzy has pretty much affirmed his lead again, which suggests that perhaps he was really confident in his area force, after all. There's Weston Boo, which means it's likely that there's another Boo hiding in here as well. In fact, I would say it's not even impossible. He should, yeah, I was gonna say he should get the Boo first before checking for that one, which he's doing, so. Although, it looked like he had a split second of contemplating getting a double. I'm glad he didn't. Now, what is Monado doing? I'm having a hard time understanding why Monado is not safe warping right here. Oh, did he not even say if that happens? Happens, I suppose. Poor dude. These things go by so fast. Monado has to do the Van Gore boost, Skozzy does not. And Monado is also not quite as high up on the mansion, so I would say it will require some incredible execution on Monado's part to be able to pull ahead here. But you know, Skozzy could crown theft. He could miss every single triple. His game could crash. It's Luigi's mansion. Who knows? Skozzy opting to lead those first ghosts a little bit. I'm not going for insta triple, but he doesn't need to really. I'm not going for an insta triple though. Kinda did like a weird 360 there. Skozzy going for the safe glider flashlight across the grabber ghosts instead of the ridiculous smack him in the face strats. Which Monado went for it and got, by the way, so props to Monado for risking it all and succeeding. Will Skozzy go for flashlight? No, he will be burning them. No, Monado missing the triple. Missing 2/3 of it, but getting the RNG double, so you know what? That's alright.
Mario.
And as Skazzy makes his way down to King Boo, let's take a look at Monado here and see how well he fares against this Boo. This Boo can be two-cycled, and you can do some interesting broomeranging, as it's referred to. An interesting term coined by the legend Boston Brew, which is basically when the Boo leaves one room and then flicks himself back into the room pretty quickly. Monado getting it fine. Nothing too difficult about that Boo. He did it fine. His time is going to be great still, but obviously he probably would have preferred to be a little bit further ahead here. Skazzy is likely to get a mid 58, which is an incredible time. Oof, Monado getting smacked by that spark. For those who don't know, those ghosts are called sparks. I looked it up, by the way. The sparks are the exact same name as the enemies in Super Mario World, so these appear to be a spectral variant of those enemies that explode. Somebody in the chat just said the phrase Dora the Exploder. I'm going to denounce that as a bad meme that Death Johnson made, and he is a bad memer, and I stand by that opinion. Monado is on PB pace, I think, and that's interesting. Will we see him come back from wherever he's gone with a PB in hand? The PB store, open 20th, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. But it's Luigi's Mansion, you never know what I'm going to say next. Nice, 58-39. Well, let's pull out ourselves a boop right there. That was an incredible first cycle for Monado.
Hello.
Skazzy's joined us. Hello, Skazzy.
How's it going?
It's going. It's
Y'all
going.
have fun commentating?
Yes, absolutely. But did you have fun with the race?
Absolutely. That was a really good race. I was really impressed with how close it was. Monado was doing amazing, dude.
Yeah, that you guys were literally frame perfect coming out of Area 3.
Yeah, that was crazy to me.
That was insane.
That run, I mean, parts of it I really could have just played way better, but
which parts would you consider yourself to be the most disappointed with?
Absolutely the breaker and then cellar in a row. Both of those were just so
yeah. Although I will say you tried desperately to clutch that breaker and you did do pretty well with it. Because didn't charge you or anything, but you managed to get it down to like 33, so that was nice.
Yeah, and that was with like 4 double cackles or something.
I know, but you pulled it off fine, and you obviously still managed to get the victory.
Yeah. I'm happy with that, 58-39, that's not too bad.
No, that is a great time for a lot of people's perspectives. I assume even you would say it's not a bad time at all, so...
Yeah.
Monado just about done here if he wants to pop in as well. It's entirely up to him, of course. Well, I'm not seeing anything from him. But you know, if he wants to join, he's welcome to it. Either way, I had a lot of fun commentating that.
Yeah.
We need to do some trash talking here. So how does it feel knowing that you completely obliterated MonadoPurge at this race?
Oh well, I'm basically just the best player in the game. You know, I'm really feeling on top of the world, and yeah, I'm shooting for.
Nothing shows that you are on top of the world like completely dominating losers bracket 4.
So yeah, I'm gonna do your job here. The next match that I'll be in is me versus Rubbertoe in loser round 5, and Monado is out of the tournament. I will be advancing on.
There you go. You heard it from the man himself. Monado is saying he's not up to an interview, and that's completely fine. It's his decision to make. So that's you know, anything you'd like to say, anything that's on your mind, any profound words of wisdom before we head off.
Follow me.
There you go, guys. Follow Skozzy at TheOfficialSkozzy.
Yeah. All right. Goodbye.
Yep.